Hello and welcome to Supernatural Scotland. Today we'll be checking out the Robert Taylor incident. And here's our little map. So it says the Dechmont UFO trail. So I'm guessing that we need to follow this little arrow here so we know exactly where we're going up to the Dechmont incident. So again, we're still following the arrows on the wood. Okay, this is where we've walked from, and we're going to go into this woodland. And this is where the Robert Taylor incident, aka the Dechmont incident, happened. Okay, so once I've turned right in the woodland, I'm just walking down, just going straight. UFO trail, follow this way. So you basically follow little arrows and they'll take you straight to it. So if we walk down here and see another one, there we go, and that takes us down to the right, and then we just follow there. So here we go, maybe a little 5-minute walk. We've got another sign to say it's the UFO trail. So let's just continue along here, see what we find. Okay, this must be sort of fork in the road. You can see there's a seat here, and it has it pointing just straight on down to here. Over 40 years ago, in 1979, Robert Taylor, a forestry worker, took his dog into these woods. He had no idea how the event would change his life forever. When he returned home with torn clothes and scratches and bruises, his wife contacted the police. When asked, he explained in detail about a metal dome floating above the ground with two spheres which dropped down from it. They hooked his trousers with spikes and dragged him towards the dome. He described losing consciousness after a strong foul smell. He then awoke face down on the grass, but the dome and the spheres were gone. He found his dog nearby and travelled home. The police recorded it as an assault, but the incident would never be solved. Welcome to beautiful Glencoe. It's hard to believe that it has a tragic history. So tragic that it stained the land, and on the anniversary of the brutal event, is haunted each and every year. The Massacre of Glencoe occurred on the 13th of February 1692. Around 30 members of Clan MacDonald of Glencoe were murdered by Scottish Government forces. This was due to them failing to pledge allegiance to the new monarchs. It was decided they would make an example of Clan MacDonald to warn other clans. In January 1692, around 120 soldiers arrived in Glencoe. They stayed with the MacDonalds for around 12 days and then turned on their hosts in the early morning of the 13th of February, butchering around 30 people in cold blood as they slept, with women and children dying of exposure after their homes were burned to the ground. Visitors to Glencoe have claimed to see reenactments of the massacre, while others have heard screams or cries echoing through the glen. It is said to be especially haunted on the anniversary of the massacre. It is said Glencoe means Glen of Weeping or Valley of Weeping, and it is a fitting name if the stories are true. Are you brave enough to visit on the 13th of February?
Welcome to the Kirk of Calder in mid-Calder. This church has existed since the 1500s, built on top of the original church.
There has been a church on this site for hundreds of years. A larger church was built over the same site in the 1500s. It was also in the 1500s decreed by the Parliament that anyone involved with witchcraft would be put to death. Over 3,000 witches were put to death in Scotland. Back then, ministers in this very church were involved in the witch hunts.
This may look like a normal hill, but this is the site of many witch killings. This is Cunnigar Hill, also known as Witch's Knowe.
Very much like America, many innocent people were accused of witchcraft. And different levels of horrific torture were used to get a confession. If you were found to be a witch, it was a death sentence. This is locally where witches were put to death. Usually witches would be strangled at the stake before having their bodies burned. Sometimes they were burned alive.